former Conservative Chancellor Nadhim Zahawi has defected to Nigel Farage's Reform UK party, becoming the most high-profile former Tory to join them. He said he's made the move because he believes Nigel's party is the best to lead broken Britain, as he calls it, saying nothing works, there's no growth, there's crime on our streets and there's an avalanche of illegal migration that anywhere else in the world would be a national emergency. All sounds very admirable and noble, Janet, but do you think that's the real reason he's defected?
No, it's not the real reason. The real reason, as quickly picked up by eagle-eyed journalists in the press, was that allegedly he was desperate for a peerage. I mean, he's done a lot of senior jobs within the Conservative Party. Perhaps the most memorable was Minister without portfolio. You get the feeling that he was lurking around in the top layer, and yes, he was Chancellor for a while, but he never really made...
Did he go for the top job?
He went for the top job and didn't get it. So what I feel was that he was hoping for a peerage, didn't get it, and now he's flounced off to join Nigel Farage's crew. I just think I'm sick of this catastrophising about Britain. Is Britain, you know, when you come back from a country that's a long way away about like Egypt is, you kind of get it in perspective. You land, it's not broken Britain 100%. Sure, life is tough for a lot of people, but he's just making it sound like everything's going to grind to a halt any day now.
But I do think there are a lot of people feeling that. It might not be all right, but, and I'm not saying he's right, I'm just saying there are a lot of people going, the trains don't work, there's potholes, you know, cost of living...
All of that's true, Ruth, but actually, if you look at the country as a whole, we function, as Janet says, you can visit any number of countries that aren't Britain and discover how things are when they really don't work, you know? And I think catastrophising it and exaggerating it without actually coming up with any serious proposals to change it is really pathetic and doesn't help anybody. And, I mean, Reform is fast becoming the sort of party of the disenfranchised, the defunct, the disgruntled. You know, here you've got a man whose family escaped here from Saddam Hussein, from Iraq, telling us that, you know, our biggest problem are the floods of people trying to do exactly what his family did.
I have to say,
I mean, it's full of bonkers people.
We did approach Nadhim Zahawi for comment. His team have said, talking about the peerage, people saying that he's flounced off because he wanted a peerage and the Conservatives didn't give it to him. He said, this is simply untrue. It's deeply disappointing that the leader's office has chosen to behave in this way. And in terms of the Tory leadership, you know, is that why he's left? Because he didn't become Tory leader? He said, the moment I retired from Parliament, I effectively declared that I don't wish to lead a political party. Let's see.
Well, do you know what? I think in every aspect of life, when somebody turns round and, you know, says to you, you can't do that, or we're not going to let you do that, don't flounce off. Don't flounce off. You know, just have this thing of...
It's embarrassing, isn't it?
In your head, you go, OK, I'll show you.
Have you had moments like that in your career?
So many moments. So many moments. Or you've been passed over, or someone's let you down, or someone goes, oh, no, you can't even wear that, you look terrible. In my head, I go, OK, I'll show you. And I think that's so much better than doing... Well, it's almost like a silent revenge, isn't it? Without being nasty or going along and slagging off the person that you've just left.
I think the best form of revenge, I don't really like...
To be successful and happy.
Yeah, is to go on and do something, whatever it is, and be happy and be successful.
Because otherwise
actually,
you just look...
It's such a negative energy, wasting your energy, hating somebody or something or a situation that you can't change.
I'll give you an example. About 5,000 years ago, BC, you'll remember that time with Tutankhamun, etc. There was a big article about me in the Evening Standard, and they asked a few people for comment, you know, some people who knew me and some people who barely knew me at all. And this one guy who was a music journalist described me as banal. And I was devastated. Honestly, I've had terrible things written about me. Slept my way to the top, you name it. But banal was just like a slap in the face. And I was so hurt and upset, and I'd see him at things occasionally, and I would always turn the other way or stalk out the room. And finally, about 30 years later, I was at this do, and he came over and was like, chatty, hi, how are you, Mariella? And I was like, do you know, I find it very difficult to talk to you. And he said, why? And I said, well, don't you remember that Evening Standard piece where you described me as banal? And he was like, No, oh God!
I know the person you're talking about.
So it stayed with you, but he forgot about it.
And I felt ridiculous because I'd carried this grudge with me for 3 decades. You know.
Well, I've had a lot of criticism like that.
I mean,
Bernal, I would have been pleased with Bernal. I would have gone for Bernal.
But
I would
it
have
is
gone, thank you, Paul Morley, because you are the person that said this horrible thing.
But it's weird when people weigh in with opinions about people they don't know for the sake of being in an
all
article.
the time.
What did he say about you?
No, Paul Morley said nothing nasty about me, but plenty of other people have. But I know when I joined the BBC as an executive, there were plenty of people who slagged off my programmes and really attacked my programming. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to sit now at an executive table with these same people who've carped about what I do and what I represent, everything that's wrong with Broken Britain youth television. I sat there and I waited for my revenge. Once a week, we had a management meeting where we critiqued new series. So one of these blokes had really got up my nose and I waited. I chose my moment carefully. Then when his series opened and everybody's going, oh, we're in the BBC, but oh, that was so lovely. Yeah, very good, very promising. And they came to, and Janet, what do you think? And I said, rather unrewarding.
I think that's worse than banal.
Yeah,
rather unrewarding.
As
an underperformance, rather unrewarding.
Did you feel better for that?
Fabulous.
Yes, she felt better.